Okay, let's talk all things 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life, Season 5, Episode Foolishness.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers and my nieces and nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie's advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie's advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie's advice.
We're going to go ahead on and get started with this foolishness. I had no intention of reviewing this tonight. Wasn't even sure if I was going to review the series at all. But some said, Auntie, go ahead on. Hey, remember, hi, Miss Fluffy Cakes. Hey, Yazelle. Yes, you see it in the title. I am going to judge Kim. I ain't scared. I ain't never scared. I'm going to judge her. I'm going to say everything I want to say about Kim. I might decide to hold a little bit back, but I doubt it. So if you ain't here for the judging that I'm going to do, you can go ahead on and exit out of here now. Because I'm telling you, when I get to her, I'm going to judge her. No ifs, ands, buts, doubts about it. Y'all don't come over here for the niceties. Y'all don't come over here for y'all don't come over here for that. Y'all come over here for what I'm going to say about my gut. What y'all been thinking. What some people won't say. Y'all came over here because y'all know I'm going to say it. So somebody had told me in my last review when I warned them and they said, oh, Auntie, you spoiled it. Spoiler alert, I'm going to judge Kim. You have been warned. If you can't take it, my kitchen got 2 exit doors. You can go to the left or the right. And I ain't trying to be rude. I'm just being real. I am going to judge Kim. Third time I said it. I ain't gonna bully her. I ain't gonna harass her, but I'm gonna judge her. She put it out there. Let's talk about it. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. The first people that I want to talk about is Sophie and Pedro. Now, we know that Pedro was one of the kind of originals, if you want to call it that. He was married to Chantel. We watched them basically from the time Chantel was 16. We watched them from the time Chantel was a little old thing. And so was Pedro. The two of them were in college, allegedly. And she had brought Pedro here to America and told her parents that Pedro was coming here, right? To on a student visa, some student program. Well, she lied. Eventually she told them the truth. Her and Pedro got married. The family ain't never like them. They never trusted the situation. They tried to tell her from the very giddy up who Pedro was. Pedro ended up snatching a good cute coin out of Chantel. Now has a real estate license, working at a firm and all of that kind of stuff. Pedro living his best life here in the United States. His mama and his sister was all involved into it. The mother of Chantel's mother said that, they was harvesting the American coin. And here now we got Pedro sitting up here, right? He's in America living his best life. And he is now looking at Sophie. He said that Sophie is everything that he like. And he ain't lying about that. But of course, we know Sophie was married to Rob. She came over here with the bull crap. Her mother came with the bull crap. She never could grow up. Rob couldn't grow up. They was living, they were living together allegedly in a house where the bathroom was outside. Sophie has been in and out of a relationship with Rob from day A, but she wants to go out there and tell everybody how toxic the relationship was because of Rob. However, anybody that got two eyes, two ears, two nose holes, and a mouth know that Sophie, in my opinion, is just as toxic as Rob, if not more, because her and her mother join up like Voltron, okay, like a transformer against him. And then the next thing you know, she in the bed with him and she making an excuse on why she's there. We've seen the fool-la-la, the mess that she's going through, and she's saying that Rob is basically, obsessed about her and can't let go. And honey, and then when we see the real tea that go on downtown on the Instagram, she running after Rob, and Rob is out there on a date or at some type of convention with another woman. But the two of them can't let go. They fall back on each other when they ain't got nobody else to crawl up in the bedroom with. They're both toxic. Rob was on Single Life that last year. She is this year. She says she need her turn at bat. But Pedro is excited about having this date with her, right? And I think part of it is vengeance is mine, said Pedro. I shall repay. I think that he wanted Chantel. Chantel was on the show. She ended up was, dating everybody, and then she didn't date anybody, and then turn around, she was dating the young lady that she's engaged to now. And I think Pedro said, you know what, touche, two can play that game. And so he decided to come out with his little relationship with Sophie. Sophie got with her Liz. Liz for what? Liz, the one that was just caught drinking some daggone way. What is she doing on here? She was in a relationship with Ed. Then she was in a relationship with some other guy that she brought to the house. Now Liz is saying that, she basically has, stage 1 ovarian cancer. I guess she had some surgeries done. She did not get the hysterectomy, which is what they recommend when they find that. And now the cancer has returned. She was in remission for a while, and now the cancer has returned. And I feel bad for her. But wasn't she just in a stupor? Allegedly. Didn't they just lock Liz up? I'm asking, didn't they just lock Liz up? So Liz is out here on the single life, running up behind Sophie. And guess who else is there? I ain't even put her name down here. Brandon's wife, who's still pregnant. This lady been pregnant as long as a daggone elephant. She and Brandon need what Julia. I ain't even honor her with a picture. I wish I would put her up here. I wish the I would. Don't tell me I ain't upload Gino picture. I could think I need. So they got these three. What an odd pair. Or should I say thruple. Julia done left her husband. Didn't she go on vacation? Didn't they go on a worldwide tour? She's gonna come on vacation while she's a pregnant woman to be on single life. Her and Brandon need that money that bad. She's so irrelevant. She's sitting up there pregnant, talking about she ain't gonna tell nobody. I don't know why Julia didn't think that we all could see that she was pregnant. But yet we got Liz out here with Sophie because they are all uninteresting on their own. They cannot stand on their own. So Sophie is out here looking to hook up with Pedro. Pedro and his friends get together and they, all delighted and everything. He really like her. The two of them said that they had been out on a date 3 times. They said that they ain't do nothing. But Pedro is going all out. He's excited about the girl being there and everything, right? So, we trying to, or let me speak for myself because I don't know how y'all felt. And I'm not looking at the comments because it's going to throw me off. So Pedro is sitting out here saying, he got his little friends. He's excited that Sophie is coming into town. Sophie said that he went and brought her a ring. They was together and he went to the jewelry store and brought her a $2,000 a piece of jewelry. And she just a user like she was with Rob with a bad wig. That's my opinion about the wig. It's bad. She too pretty to not be who she is. But anyway, I digress off of that. I ain't got nothing to say about the wig no more. We're going to go ahead and let that go. But Pedro, gets a van. He got his whole little friend and crew, with him and all of that kind of stuff. They decorate the van. The van comes and picks the girls up because they all going down to meet with Pedro and his friends at a club. Pedro pulling out all the stops with Chantel money. All the shots with Chantel's money. He decorates it and put all the little stuff in there, for the DR. Her and her girls get in and she don't even appreciate it. She's so young and immature. She can't even appreciate the kind, nice, romantic gesture. No matter how cheesy she thought it was. And old pregnant, Julia's sitting in the background talking about some candles in the car. Girl, shut up. You need to be with your husband. How about you need to be with his parents trying to reconcile and get stuff together. Now everybody mad at her downtown on the on social media because she don't want to say what the sex of the baby is. She don't want to show the baby, but she want that cheddar. She want that them gifts off that gift registry. People stupid for running behind these people anyway. I don't run behind these daggone people. Shh. These people will mess around and have you broke as many GoFundMe's that's going on every week. These old fake storylines and they ain't even on the show anymore trying to be relevant. They get on my... So anyway, Julia and her girlfriends, they go down there to the thing. Liz, she be one of the friends, okay? She already into him. And I'm just like, okay, so this is pathetic. She can't even let Sophie hook up with Pedro. Sophie gets there. She's uncomfortable. I think she has very, very low self-esteem. She's always judging herself about how she look and all of that kind of stuff. And she go into her little thing. Pedro is excited. She give Pedro one of them little Boy Scout, Girl Scout hugs. Just a little tap and everything. And so Pedro picks it up immediately that she ain't really acting like, she excited to see him. So of course Pedro was feeling some kind of way, right? Because he done pulled out all the stops. They got the space rented up at the top of the club for them to be in right there in the DR. The weather is wonderful. You get dressed up, get your makeup on, put on your cute little dress and your shoes, and you acting all snotty. You should have just went on and stayed at the hotel. You're not ready for nobody like Pedro. But the thing about it was they gave Pedro's little grooming little thing. In the beginning, they had Pedro in the bathroom grooming himself, right? He's sitting up there grooming his face and everything with the razor, but then he take the same razor and go downtown with it. I said, how nasty is that? As women, we got something that we using at the top. We ain't using it at the bottom, but they thought that was so funny. I was like, okay, so that had to be scripted because I know Pedro ain't that nasty that he using the same razor for two different things. They do too much. Just let the story tell itself. They don't have to do all of this. People gonna watch anyway. So give us something that's authentic. Cause you mean a man like Pedro, as bougie as he is using this. Okay. Move on, Auntie. Move on. So the next thing you know, we see them doing what they do with the woo woo woo. Like I said, they at the club and everything, and she being on, on reserve and just standing to the side and all that, and he introduced her to the friends, and she dry as the desert. She got tumbleweed rolling up out of her mouth, and that's because she doesn't have any social skills. And you ain't gonna tell me no different. You right about that, Miss Chain. These little fake friendships, they don't like each other. So they, keep Pedro was like, okay, I thought that she would at least, give me a better hug than that. He takes her upstairs, like I said, introduce her to all the friends, and she just as dry as I don't know what. And y'all know why she dry? Because she just don't have no personality. She never has, not even with Rob. She never had a personality. She got the looks, but as soon as she opened up her mouth, you like, well, god dang. Y'all know what I'm saying? You like, I mean, she ain't got nothing going on. So the friends are all put by, but not Liz. Liz says she gonna get her man if she gonna get a man about he if she ain't got if she don't have nothing else to do and nothing else going on, she gonna make sure she hook up. So they all dancing and stuff. Doing a little cha cha, the little salsa. You know what I'm saying? And Pedro trying to get Sophie to come up out of her shell, and Sophie can't come out of her shell. And Liz says she want to learn to dance and everything, but she was like, boyfriend is good on the eyes, so she hooking up with him. Meantime, Pedro not. So Pedro has a conversation with her about Rob. He wants to know where it is, right? Because he out here spending his cash. You know what I'm saying? He want to know what it is. Am I buying anything or not? What am I getting for my cash? So the next thing you know, here they go, and they having their little conversation, and Cheese is talking about Rob. That she has been still in contact with Rob. So Pedro, like, okay, so are y'all divorced? Like, where y'all at with this? Are you divorced? How far along are you with it? She was like, just now, I just found something. But they're gonna sit there and say that if I hadn't have found it, Rob would still wouldn't have done it. So Pedro was looking like, what? Pedro was looking the same way that you were looking on your television when you was watching this, or your iPhone, your iPad, whatever you was watching, the same way your face was the same way Pedro's face was. Pedro was like, I know you. He thinking, okay, the relationship is over between them, ain't nothing going on. But honey, it's a whole lot going on. Cause he straight up asked her, so have y'all been together? Have y'all hooked up? She was like, yeah. I thought that, everything was over, but when he apologizes to me, I just think that, there's hope and I go back to him. Girl, stop lying. Your relationship with Rob pays your bill. The controversy with Rob pays your bill. All of that stuff pays your bills. And you never was finished with the man from the giddy up. Let's not play the games. You and Rob couldn't get along. Your mother was all involved in the situation and in the relationship. And so y'all ended up having a whole bunch of problems in y'all relationship. Let's just go ahead on and tell the truth. So Pedro was looking now and saying, okay, I'm getting ready to be caught up in the middle of something. I thought this girl was serious and she up here playing games. She's still messing with the man. She talks about an incident where she was blocked on the phone because I'm blocked, that Rob had called her from another number, right? So that he could get in contact with her because she had blocked him. So it was a whole bunch of stuff up in the air on whether or not Rob did that. Well, Rob on the after show ended up saying that yes, he did. He said he was just talking to her. They was talking and all of that. So he hit her up, did a star 67, star 69, or whatever you call it. And she picked up the phone and he was like, okay, so why am I blocked? We talking. She's weird. She's weird. In the meantime and in between time, Liz is getting hers on. Not only is she getting her drink on, but she is really feeling this dude, and this dude is feeling her as well. Good on them. Hope everything work out. It is what it is. I found a picture with Gino and he got some hair. It just totally changes the look of Gino, doesn't it, y'all? Gino look old and distinguished in everything. Oh my God, think of my girl Pam. Hey, Pam. Hey, there, sugar. Oh, sugar, sugar. Poor Gino is back out here in the streets. He done went through his stuff that he done went through with Jasmine. The divorce and all of that stuff is in limbo. She done moved on and had a baby by a whole different guy. And just, I'm talking about just getting the girls and the boys coins. I was going to say something nasty, so let me not. Gino goes to this dating thing. He said that he is accustomed to dating women online because of the rejection. But he decides to go to some little bar where he is going to be able to meet and mingle with single people. But he still has a thing for Jasmine where he just cannot let go. So Gino goes into the place. They greet him and all of that kind of stuff. He meets, up with a couple of people and all of that stuff. But these two women, at the end of the day, meet with him. They ask him about why he's there. He spills his whole life story. The women are laughing at him and turned off. Gino. Gino seems like the kind of guy that does like to date women offline. When he gets with them, he doesn't want to even make love to them. He said at the end of the thing, no blue pills necessary. And guess who he meeting up with? Natalie. Yes, the one that got popped up in the face downtown at the pool hall or wherever they was. Okay, from by Jasmine. He's meeting back up with her. Gino needs to leave women alone because all he does is leave a whole bunch of chaos and broken women behind him. He doesn't need to date. He's undateable. hmm And people think it's funny, right? He wanted to show his bald head in the back, his little head, and it just is red and look like a rash, like he need to put an ice pack or something on it, and like he needs it. Let's see how this works out. But this is who I want to talk about. All the rest of them, I'll get to them next week. Like I told you, I had no intention on even coming out here. But this woman right here, we open up this episode with Kimberly on like a little van. They get off and they playing like laser tag. I didn't even realize that Kim was on a date until I realized that Kim was on a date. I'm going to be honest with y'all and straight out the pocket because I told y'all that I would. I didn't think Kim dated white men. So I thought this was like a cousin, a next door neighbor. I did not think. Pam, I'm trying to tell you, I was thinking the same god thing. I had no idea that this guy was Kim's date. I don't think there's even a picture in Kim's house of her being with a white dude. So I was like, okay, so who this is her? Like, is Kim bringing her other family members on here? What's going on with Kim? No connection between her and the guy at all. None. We see Kim at her spa, she's on her job and everything. Her coworker is her friend. And as she says, we're going out tonight. So Kim goes out and they go to some type of little bar where they're playing a game called, what was it called, y'all? Pick Me? Or whatever it was that Kim was playing. Her two girlfriends, along with her coworker, because your coworker is your coworker. They go into the place and they have this game that they're playing where they put your stuff up on the wall, who you are, your height, things you like, you want to date, what your age is, what you want to, excuse me, what you want a potential partner to know. The potential partner who may be in the audience somewhere decides whether or not they like you. They open up the floor for questions and all of that, and Kim is acting surprised. But I loved her Louis Vuitton pocketbook. I must say that was cute. Send that to me, Kim. Send that to me. So they Kim is on the cell phone. She's off the cell phone now. She's participating. They come to her and they, put her stuff up there on the board, and there's nobody that's available for Kim. Nobody interested in her at all. The one guy said, he was proud of her and, she was too old for him, but he just wanted to, basically commend her for even doing the crime. Kim tell him ain't no problem. It ain't an issue. I'm going to go hit on and hop in this Uber and meet with B. She got a booty call with somebody that she has been dating for 5 years. She said when she was dating the individual and she was serious about B told her that he wanted to be in a poly relationship. She told B that she did not want to be in a poly relationship with him and decided to break up with him, yet continue to sleep with him. She said, women over their 50s, they still want a little rubber dub dub in the tub. But what surprised me was that Kim, being a 50-year-old woman, it didn't appear to take a change of drawers, a bra, an outfit. She just acting like something you pick up off the street, and they have no backup, nothing. They don't have a toothbrush up in that mouth. She don't have nothing to comb her hair. Like she just got her pocketbook straight coming from work. She gets up in the room. She says that her and B like to stay at fine hotels. When I looked at that hotel, this is just my opinion. Maybe I'm bougie. I don't know. But that hotel looked like it was 3 stars. It looked like something that was sitting on a dock. Wait a minute, y'all. It looked like it was sitting on a dock of Atlantic City, which basically has no casinos, hardly anything up Atlantic City anymore. It looked like a motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. It looked like it is just strictly reserved for people who want to be there for an hour. He already up in there with her. She said, "Oh, this is a nice hotel." I was looking like, if I had stayed in that hotel, and I am a little bougie, okay? So let me just go ahead on and just put that out there, right? I would have probably slept with plastic around me. Not even lying. I wish I was lying, but I ain't even lying. It'd have been plastic everywhere. It'd look like a crime scene, like Dexter. For those of you all who watch Dexter. But this is the same man. This is the same woman who kept sitting up there saying, I'm 50. I don't have to have no commitment. I don't have to have this. I'm a grown woman. I'm living my grown woman life. We see the two, him open the door for her. She walk in. There seems like there's no connection. My whole thing is tell him leave some on the night table. Because if this is where we going, then it just leaves something for me. Or should she have left something for him? But anyway, so she starts laying in the bed with him and they're talking about their relationship and everything. And she was this secure woman. Then all of a sudden, she propositions him and says, you know what? I know that we have a good time with each other, but I want to see where this going to go. I want more out of this relationship. Didn't he or did he not tell you that he didn't want anything but a poly relationship? Didn't you say you didn't even need that? You just needed your needs met. If you don't know what you want to do as a woman, don't play the game. Stay by yourself until you figure out what you want. He looks like he's the type of guy, and no offense to anybody, but that he works down at the corner liquor store running the numbers machine all day. 3 picks, 5 picks, 4 picks, Powerball, Mega Millions. What does Kim want with him? This is what I was thinking at first. Why would Kim want a man that look like he doing Powerball numbers all day and leaning back and saying, "What you need? Two? What you want? Marlboro Reds?" He look like he working a liquor store. She's been in this relationship with this man for 5 years and wants something more. And then she says, "Well, I'm tired. Let me go and take me a shower." She come out and what does she got on? Because when we saw Kim the next day when she went to her house, she said she can't have the man at her house because she never knows when Jamal is coming over. Then that means that you don't have any boundaries with Jamal. Because as a grown woman, if you want to go ahead on and swing off the ceilings, you should be able to do that. And Jamal should understand that mommy's swinging off the chandeliers tonight. So I don't care what come hook about crook. I'm going to be up in my house doing what I do with the whoop whoop and the boo boo. I'm not going to be going to some hotel, some flea bit hole in the wall. No disrespect to the people that own the hotel. I'm saying that's what it looked like to me, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be a grown woman doing your grown thing, then be a grown woman doing your grown thing and make sure that Jamal know tonight you're a child. Don't come to my house. I'm entertaining company. Especially since you didn't bring a night bag. You just let the man do what he do and you get up in the morning and just leave out of there. So foul. So foul. And then Kim hits us with a conversation with Jamal. She says that Jamal is coming over to help her put a dresser together. But she admits that that ain't really what she needs him to come over for. So we see Kim sitting there and they start talking about somebody named Larry. Jamal is better than me. Kim said that she was in the military. She brags on it all the time. I jumped out of an airplane. Okay. I was in the military. Okay. But we find out that Kim was down there with, I guess, Harry, Larry, and Tom and Bill, and ended up being with this guy named Larry. And she got pregnant at 21 years old in the military. Now that don't, I mean, you do what you do. You get pregnant young, okay, you in the military. It's all right. She said that the baby daddy said he wanted her to get an abortion. But she decided that's not what she wanted. And so Kim decides that she's going to get a baby up for adoption. Now, many people have done that. And many people still do it. What a woman chooses to do, that's fine. I don't have any judgment for what you do. But here's where I have the judgment at. She adopted the child and never told Jamal, her living son. Now, mind you, she was dating Usman, who was old enough to be her child. She dragged Jamal into this lifestyle. this 90-day fiance lifestyle. She got the boy on Front Street. He on Front Street doing his own stuff. But Kim sat there, y'all, and had a son that she put up for adoption. Ain't tell nobody nothing. Not even her son. Jamal is thinking it's him and his mama. He done grown up. I don't know how much. Y'all tell me downtown in the comment section how old Jamal is. Because Jamal has grown up under this fake life, thinking it was just him and his mother. And come to find out, she has a son. The only way that Jamal found out about the son that Kim had put up for adoption when she was 21, 22 years old, because the boy went on Ancestry.com and said, let me find my family. Did Kim even tell the baby daddy that he still had a son that existed? Do y'all remember back in the day when we first looked up Kim's husband that I think he had committed a crime or something like that? Way back in the day when we first met Kim, there was a lot of questions about her husband because I believe he was incarcerated. He had a very checkered past. That's when we realized that Kim liked the berry dark because she likes the sweet juice. Y'all remember? Jamal is sitting there at the table. Took my whole breath away. He didn't have no idea that he had a brother. To top it all off, Kim was talking to Larry using Jamal's image, name, and everything else. Yes, she was catfishing her own son with her other son. The only reason why Kim stopped catfishing the son for 3 months, this is Larry, using Jamal's image. Yes. Yes. Let's see the son. Shall we? That's Kim's son that she gave up for adoption. And as Pam Cleveland asked earlier, what made Kim tell her story? She should have been smarter and signed her own spin-off show, because we would have tuned in week after week. Introducing Larry. Kim was catfishing Larry using Jamal's image until Larry said, I want to meet you and talk to you on the phone. I no longer want to email you or text you. I want to hear your voice. And that is when she told Jamal. Jamal sat her in her face and he told her, if he hadn't have bust you out and put pressure on you, you wouldn't have told me. She said, yes, you would have. He said, but you didn't. You would not have told me that you had another child. I'm thinking, Jamal sat out on that stoop and he said, if you can't, I grew up with my mama, just me and her, and I felt like I could trust my mama. He said, out of all the people in your life, you don't really trust nobody but your mama. So you know the devastation that Jamal has had finding out that he had a brother by the name of Larry. I believe, Miss Pam and everybody else, that Larry put the pressure on her. That if you don't tell your story, I'm going to tell it. Larry is a grown man with a wife and a child. Kim is not only a mother of a son, but also a mother of a grandbaby. She's a grandmother. Kim said that when she met Larry, she went down there to go and meet him, that she looked at him and said, he looks just like me. What do y'all think? I think he does too. And guess who went with her, devastated and all? Jamal. Jamal said, you could have told me. She said, I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know what. If I, girl, shut up. She said that her husband cheated on her constantly. But yet, not only did she have Larry and Jamal by the same man, Kim has a daughter that Larry doesn't know about, that Jamal found out about. Kim has 3 black kids. 2 of them she put up for adoption. Yes. Yes, boo. It's okay to be slow. You ask the questions. When I see them come up, I'm going to answer it. Yes. Kim was talking to Larry as Jamal. He thought he was talking to his brother. They were texting and emailing because he found them by doing his own research on Ancestry.com. And is it Ancestry or Ancestor.com? He found them. Kim said that she was going to tell Jamal. Jamal said, when? You wasn't going to tell me. If he hadn't reached out, you still would have been talking to him. But Kim takes, apparently, Kim has had 3 little black kids and only kept one of them, put the other ones in the system. And it took this child to say, I want to find out who I come from. I wonder if Kim even told the baby daddy that she had these 3 little black babies. But she decided to keep Jamal. Why? She kept Jamal close to the chest, close to the heart, thinking that he had this loving relationship with his mother, and maybe he did. But to sit there and lie like that, what are you saying, boo? What the hell? Wait, Jamal didn't know he had a sister? Okay, well, that makes sense that he didn't know. She just didn't tell him. He didn't know he had a sister or a brother. He didn't know his mama was pregnant past him. Y'all know when we met Kim, that's all she talked about was Jamal. Kim never even alluded to the fact that she had other kids. Now she's sitting on there wanting empathy and sympathy. I ain't got it to do. I don't have it to do. Now I know that people hide their secrets because that's why they're called secrets. Because they hide the facts about their life and hide little things. And I know that for some people, maybe there was some shame, but Kim was married. She said that she really was happy that the boy got adopted because she wasn't ready to take care of him. So then why wasn't Kim in the military, jumping out of planes and everything, not responsible enough to wrap it up with her husband or anybody else she laid with? And then we got Jamal sitting on there broken, embarrassed, got to now defend his mama from people like myself that's going to judge her. Because no matter what you did, you could have told your son, he's out here in the public. This could have come out very nasty if Larry or whoever this daughter is didn't tell the truth. I mean, just went out there to a blogger or a vlogger. Because had he came to me with his story, I would have spilled the tea on her with no hesitation whatsoever. And I ain't even going to lie about it. Okay, I knew it was something like that, Miss Pam. Pam said she wasn't married to Jamal Daddy. She married that man in jail later when Jamal was a child. Thank you, Miss Pam. I knew it was something that was going on with downtown with the jail because I remember discussing that story. If that boy hadn't said, let me tell you something. We are watching Kim, and we have watched Kimberly since she has been on this show run after men. Even in this season, with what she is revealing, she is still running after men. Men who don't care nothing about her. That man that she sat up in that bed with, Mr. B, don't give a about her. Come over here, do what we said we was going to do, and roll out. Now you tell me that's not what y'all saw. That man don't care nothing about no Kim. But she always running around behind a man, wanting acceptance from a man. And you got babies out here that want to find out or wanted to find out who they belong to. All good. Let me repeat myself because you probably came in late. The reason why Larry found out he was being catfished again was because the Kim was talking to Larry via text messages or possibly emails. Larry said, I want to talk to you on the phone. Kim could not mimic Jamal's voice. She couldn't mimic a man's voice. She couldn't pretend on the phone she was a man, but she could do it by text message. She could do it by emails. She couldn't do it. So she had to tell Jamal because Larry was taking it to another level. Now I want to talk to you. After that, I'm sure he probably wanted to Skype with him, but eventually they went down to go and see him. Kim absolutely has a preference, and everybody has a preference. But the way that Jamal was crushed, Jamal, I believe, said he never even met his father. And she out here on the show running behind men with her knees knocking, telling us how much weight that she done lost. Again, many people give their children up for adoption. So the issue for me isn't that. The issue for me is the constant years of deception with Jamal, making Jamal believe he was an only child, not letting him know that you had a past. I was disgusted with her. I was disappointed. And I was like, this is so unacceptable. It's so unacceptable to know that you put two little kids, regardless of their race or ethnicity, you put two kids in adoption and just thought that you were going to be able to go through life and never have to make a confession to your son about it. It's just a smack in Jamal's face. You could see the hurt on Jamal, the disappointment in Jamal, and he is not mincing words about how he felt about it. He is not mincing words, and he shouldn't have to. He still loves his mother, but that right there, he ain't gonna never be able to forget the day that he found out and that she was catfishing his brother, pretending to be him. Kim, you ain't for that. You gonna have to learn how to love yourself, Miss Kim, because the way that you went up in there with just a pocketbook, no knives, the way you came home and sat your butt up on that chair with Jamal, the way that you lied to get him over there, just to have it like you ain't for none of that. So I will be sitting and watching this show. We have Courtney, yeah, Courtney and Colty coming up for what I don't know. Now on the after show, the spinoff show, I like the fact they've done it different this year, so I'll be willing to watch it. And I can't think of what it's called, but let me look it up real quick. Between the Sheets has been very interesting. And I do like the fact that they are bringing back old people and people that they have previously been in a relationship with to have their little say. I like that spin. That has made it very different. Okay. Very different. So I will be watching and I will be reviewing this because I'm telling you, I had someone who's very special to me to reach out and ask me, was I going to do the show? And I wasn't even sure. But when I watched it, I said, I'm going to follow Kim's story all the way through. We don't need to have one episode of The Single Life where Kim don't show up with this story. I believe that Kim and them are going down to see him again. And I cannot wait to meet Mr. Larry. Kim, work on you, boo. You don't need to date anybody. You need to be healed. The men that you are interested in are not interested in you. And you know why you date men who are not interested in you, women and men? Because you're not interested in you. Because if you loved you and you cared about you, you would not find yourself getting caught up, trapped up, tied up, and tangled up in this mess. When you begin to care for yourself, then you put up boundaries. Expectations, limitations. You put up things that you just not going to compromise on. There's a word that I'm searching for in my head and I don't know why I can't pull it out. But I just can't date anybody. Just to say I'm dating somebody. Can't do it. Y'all, make sure y'all here on Mondays. I'm sorry, on Tuesdays for my review of 90 Day to Single Life, Season 5. I will be here on Tuesdays and we will be talking about this. Y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comments section. Tell me what I missed and we'll talk next week. I love y'all and until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.